Hey there everyone. It is the last week of OT activities before summer starts. I know I'll be seeing some of you for summer school, which is super exciting, but for today we've got 3 activities to do that are going to help your fingers get really strong and help you practice working on the correct way to make your letters. So the first activity that we're going to do is a Play-Doh maze. You can do a Play-Doh maze on a plate, you can do it with a cake pan or a baking sheet. The smaller your maze, the easier it's going to be. If you do a great big baking sheet, you can have lots of turns back and forth that will make it a little bit harder. The more turns you put in your maze, that will make it harder. If it's just a straight maze or 1 or 2 turns, then that's going to be a little bit easier for you to get through your maze. If you put high walls on the side of your maze with your Play-Doh, then that will be easier. And if you make really short walls, then that will be harder. Because what we're going to do, I've started a maze here. I need to finish the last little bit of it to keep my item inside. So you're going to start with Play-Doh, and then you're just going to roll it up. You can either roll it between your hands, or you can put it down on the table and roll your hand back and forth to make the little snake shape for the walls of your maze. And then stick it onto whatever you're using, whether it's your plate or your cake pan. And then once you have your maze, you're going to use your hands on either side to tilt the plate side to side, back and forth. And it's up to you what you want to put through your maze. You can try lots of different things. So I grabbed a little tomato to try to put through my maze. The little tomato rolls a lot. So, and right there it's too big to go through the walls. So I'm going to change the walls of my maze. Small problem, I can fix that all by myself. And I'm going to roll my tomato. You know what, I'm going to switch because it seems like my tomato is too big for the maze that I made. So I could use a tiny little bean. And I'm going to tilt my bean all the way, through my maze. So you can try with lots of different things. You can try uncooked beans, you can try the cotton balls that are in your OT kit, you can also try pennies or different coins, or you can use an extra piece of Play-Doh and roll it up into a little ball, and then you can have a Play-Doh ball go through your Play-Doh maze. It might be a little bit easier if you choose a ball that is a different color than your maze, because then you can really see it going through your maze. So after we do our Play-Doh maze, put all that to the side here. The next thing we're going to do uses Play-Doh as well, and that's going to be to make different letters with our Play-Doh. I'm going to tilt you guys down so you can see what I'm up to. And today I'm just going to show you with magic C letters, but parents, remember, keep an eye on your child's writing. You should have an email from last week of correct letter formations for handwriting without tears. So I'm going to do a frog jump capital. And I always get confused because I just got a new webcam and it doesn't flip my picture. So let me try to do this right for you guys. I'm going to do a big line down, frog jump back up to the top. Oh, that's the bottom for you guys. Big line down, frog jump back up to the top, line down. So when your child is making this, I'm actually trying to make the letter N. When your child is making the letters, this is a small line. It won't complete my N all the way. So instead of just adding on, I would encourage you to have them, let's take this small line away and let's make a big line. Because that really solidifies the concept that this section of the N is one continuous section. So big line down, frog jump up, big line down, and then we need one more big line up. There we go. There's our letter N. And then after you make the N, or whatever letter it is with your Play-Doh, go ahead and insert something into the Play-Doh. You could insert, I've got uncooked black beans here, and make sure you do it in the exact same pattern. Always start in the spot that you would start when you were writing. So this just is a little bit more fine motor work. It's another way to practice the correct way to make the letter. Or if you want to practice this way, I'm going to take these out so they're not distracting. Or instead of inserting into the Play-Doh, you can use either a pencil or a toothpick, or you could use your popsicle sticks from your OT kits and just trace over in the correct way. Big line down, frog jump up, big line down, and then back up for your N. So these are different ways that you can work on those fine motor skills to strengthen the fingers and then also reinforce the correct way to make the letters. I didn't do such a hot job because I forgot that I did not want to use all of my Play-Doh on one letter. I would like your child to practice multiple letters, so if they can make them smaller, that would be great. So for continuing on with the frog jump capitals, you could do big line down, frog jump back up to the top, little curve, little curve. And then the same thing, they could use their pencil, big line down, frog jump up, little curve, or they could insert something. You could even do pennies into the letter to reinforce that correct letter formation. And then the very last thing, to continue working on different ways to practice those letters, is going to be a letter maze. This one is a magic C letter. It's upside down backwards for you guys. Oh, that's actually wonderful. So what I did for this one is I put the different ways that you can practice on the bottom, and I might have a child do all three of them, but this way they have clear expectations of what is it that I'm going to be doing with this letter maze. So first it would be use Play-Doh, then put pennies, and then use a marker. So I'll show you all three of those ways. You can pinch off little bits of Play-Doh. I marked the start with a star as a good reminder where we start our magic C's. And I'm just going to pinch little dots and put them all the way around the shape of the A. I won't go all the way through that with you guys just for the sake of time. Another thing that you can do, so if I finish my Play-Doh, I put a check mark on there. Onto the pennies, the same thing. Start at the star so your child remembers to start their magic C's with the magic C formation. Go all the way around. For actual magic C's, you go up, continue all the way up, and then go down. So your child might want to start the magic C and then jump back up to the top. I would encourage them to continue going up, up, up. I'm out of pennies here, so I'll switch to my beans. And then back down to the bottom. And then the very last thing would be using a marker I like to do rainbow letters with these mazes because it gives your child a lot of chances to practice. So I'll say, let's pick 5 colors and do all of those colors for the A, and it will make a rainbow. Magic C, up, down, magic C, up like a helicopter, bump back down. And then you can see how using 5 different colors gives them a lot more chances to practice that letter versus just doing it once. They only have that one opportunity. And there you go, there's our rainbow A. So these are the things that we'll be doing in our live OT group with Teacher Lael's class today at 1 o'clock. If you can make it, I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And if not, feel free to try these all on your own. We won't have OT next week because that's the week off in between the regular school year and summer school. But I will be back for summer school, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys either this afternoon or during summer school.